sorry about that text you got. I didn't ever mean to send it. So you got me in my feelings. Also fuck autocorrect, and I've been doing fine except the stabbing pain up in my chest. And
Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allie if you're new, and this week is my Stephen King week. If you didn't know, the 21st of September is Stephen King's birthday, and for the past 2 years I've had vlogs dedicated to Stephen King's work. 1 year was kind of like a readathon that somebody else hosted, and I just joined. And then last year I made it a point to read Stephen King books around his birthday. So, since I don't really see a bunch of Stephen King readathons anymore, centered around like his birthday and stuff, I thought it would be kind of cool to start doing my own annual Stephen King week, where I read a bunch of his work that I've kind of been putting off, or that are currently on my TBR, or I have like certain reasons that I'm wanting to be reading them right now. And I started it this summer, although I didn't really have this idea until now. So some of the vlogs I won't even be mentioning this week of Stephen King. That's why this is the first one, so that you guys know what's going on. But I'm hoping to have a vlog about every day, if not like every other day for this week. And I'll be reading Stephen King. Do you have something to say?
Yeah. Hi, Flag. No, I'm Archie.
I haven't been out walking at my favorite cemetery for over a year. So this feels so good to be back out here. And the weather is finally starting to feel kind of like crisp and nice. It's a little hot right in the sun. So yeah, it was kind of a spur of the moment plan. I asked the boys if they wanted to go for a walk. Axel brought his scooter for like 2 seconds. But now he's getting a walk with me. The other boys wanted to stay home, so it's just us two today. So for today's video, I am going to be getting back into If It Bleeds. This is a collection of short stories. There's not a lot in this, but I read this sometime I think last year just for If It Bleeds, that short story, because it's the continuation of Holly Gibney's story, and I needed to read it in order to get to Holly. So if you're a Stephen King reader, then you know what I'm talking about. I feel like I heard something in that. Think there's people in there?
I don't know. Someone's watching us.
Someone probably is watching us. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of entities watching us.
Yes. Like SMPs.
I have a rock in my shoe. So, besides If It Bleeds, there is Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which has a movie that I've been really wanting to watch. You guys hear this? The crunch of fall leaves. Oh my gosh, I gotta get a picture. I am so excited.
I didn't know it was already fall.
It's not, but we can pretend it is.
Okay.
It's starting. It's the beginning.
Okay.
I got my first pumpkin spice latte this week. It's fall. So anyways, I'm wanting to get to Mr. Harrigan's Phone for the movie. I also want to get to The Life of Chuck because I still have not read it. I want to read it before I watch the movie. I of course want to watch it because it's Mike Flanagan. And it has some of my favorite actors in it. Kate Siegel's going to be in it. Sorry, we had some dogs barking. But it has Matthew Lillard in it too. So I'm excited about that. And it also has that Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, it's been on my radar. It's one of my movies I want to watch this year. Our local theater didn't play it in our small town, so we didn't have the time to travel to another one at that time. So we're just gonna watch it at home. But I do want to read it first. And then there's also Rat, which I have not read yet.
But now you're gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends.
Simon & Schuster Audio presents If It Bleeds by Stephen King. Read by Will Patton, Danny Burstein, and Stephen Weber.
Thinking of Restore. I miss you, Chief. Mr. Harrigan's Phone. My hometown was just a village of 600 or so, and still is, although I have moved away.
We just got back home. Axel could not stay much longer. He was getting hungry. So we just got back home. He just now ran inside. I'm making soup tonight, though. So it's going to be very fall vibes this evening. I'm kind of hoping I can make it further. I think I read not even half of the first story while we were there. But I did start with Mr. Harrigan's phone because I thought, like, maybe we could watch the movie tonight, like, while we're eating dinner. So I'm going to make taco soup and continue listening. So far, this is about a boy named Craig, and it's kind of just, like, a story of a kid's life up until the point where he's, like, wanting a cell phone. And you know, he's being told he's too young, and then it's like a big surprise when he gets his phone. It reminded me so much of my son. He kept begging for a phone. And one year, it just got to a point where, like, he asked for a phone every single month, and then that year for Christmas, we surprised him with it, and that's what happened in this. So I thought it was kind of cute. And now it's just kind of like, this is back, like, when cell phones were, like, smartphones, like an iPhone. Like, he got an iPhone, so he's really excited because it's not like a BlackBerry anymore. It's like an actual iPhone smartphone that wild. And he goes and, like, gets paid to take care of this older man, Mr. Harrigan. He reads him, like, chapters from books, and then, like, waters his plants and stuff like that, and kind of hangs out with him every day. And so he's kind of, like, introducing the world of iPhone to an elderly man, and his mind is just blown.
Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Done again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends. I don't miss seeing them, miss you on my phone screen. Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Summer days, don't miss your taste. Got in the crawl space, wanna break, still see your face. I just don't wanna be a missing case, walking in place. Keep up in my pace, stay awake, stay awake. That's what they all say.
I'm shot, really raw. What you wanna scream about? Iced out, metaphor. Cause you wanna bite that. Know you got it in me, but my comments ain't inside that.
What you wanna talk about?
What you tryna get at?
Miracle on the boat, man, it's my RT. Hit 'em all like a joke, man, it's all I fear. Catch 'em all, fuck 'em all, it's a bright idea. Never heard a ringtone, but now you're gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends. I don't miss seeing them, miss you on my phone screen. Now I save the tissues that you bought me from a nosebleed. I don't think about you, but it don't sleep. Gone again. I'll take all your issues, you can have my friends.
So I not only finished Mr. Harrigan's phone, but we also watched the movie tonight. This is the type of story... Okay, let me just say, after I left you guys last time, I had mentioned semi-plot. What I left out, because I hadn't got to it yet, is the fact that Mr. Harrigan dies. And the gifted iPhone that Craig gave him, Craig ends up slipping into the pocket of Mr. Harrigan's, like, tux or suit or whatever, like, whenever he was being buried. And so it's kind of a play on having a connection with somebody through the phone and the afterlife. Really cool concept. I actually rather enjoyed the story. I would probably give it a 4-star. It's a very different story for Stephen King from, like, the majority of his work. It's very, like, heart-wrenching and emotional. You really feel for Craig and the things that are going on in his life. And with that being said, although I liked the short story, watching it as a movie, I mean, don't get me wrong, you have Donald Sutherland, love. You also have, I can't even remember his name. He plays young Bill in the newer It movies. Phenomenal actor. I loved both of them. Some of the other, like, side actor characters weren't as good. And it didn't really seem like a high budget type of situation either. But I don't know, it kind of just fell flat for me. I was like, this is a great short story, but, like, this as a movie, I didn't really know what to expect. I was like, I think it's going to be slightly boring. And it kind of was. Even James, who hasn't read it, was just kind of like, that was very mid. It is very spot on. It's almost one of those times I would say, like, you could either read it or watch it, and it's the same thing. Although I do think I took away more from just reading it versus watching. I feel like this is one where I didn't have to have a movie. Yeah, it was just kind of weird. I feel like out of all of his work, you're going to choose Mr. Harrigan's Phone to create a movie. Which also has me so nervous for The Life of Chuck, because I really hope it's not the same ordeal. I really feel like it wouldn't be because, I mean, come on, it's Mike Flanagan. I'm back. I didn't film a single thing yesterday. I think I filmed like just clips. That was it. Yesterday was a really emotional day for me. I don't know if I'm about to get my period, or it was just the lack of sleep, but I had a very emotional day yesterday, and I held it together all day. I was just so tired. And then I read Life of Chuck and became super emotional. It is such a beautiful short story. This definitely so far has been a type of collection that isn't his typical. It's very meaningful and emotional and not the scary Stephen King we know. This was published in 2020, so it is some of his newer work. I think Mr. Harrigan's Phone, the movie, came out in 2022, and then Life of Chuck, the movie, was made last year and then came into theaters this year through Neon, and is, of course, Mike Flanagan. And you guys kind of seen how I was a little disappointed with Mr. Harrigan's Phone movie, because I was just kind of like, out of all the stories, that one really? And I kind of got the same vibe with this one, reading Life of Chuck. I was like, man, it's such a meaningful story, so good, but how is this going to be as a movie? And I will say it is very spot on, the same as Mr. Harrigan's Phone. It's like, if you've read it, you've watched it type of ordeal, but there is something about going from reading it to visualizing it through Mike Flanagan that was just incredible. Sadly, I think I burnt James out on Mr. Harrigan's Phone, because starting Life of Chuck, he was like, I don't know if I can do this. And he didn't really know what was going on. And the key point here, because I am going to try to tread so lightly with this synopsis, is that the Life of Chuck is literally just the story of Chuck's life, but it's played out in reverse. So it starts at the end instead of the beginning. And knowing, I think I was so emotional because knowing what I knew from the book, going to watching the third act, because the first time through was just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, this is sad, life, the end of Chuck's life, you know, being confused too, because you don't really know what's going on in the beginning. You're learning about all these people and their average lives, and they keep hearing about this Chuck, and it's really confusing at first. But as you read and you get to the second act, and it's Chuck's adult life and kind of showing glimpses of his personality, and you know, you're liking him, but there's still stuff that's missing. And then you get to the first act, since this is, you know, in reverse, and it's his childhood and the things that he went through then. And there's just so much heartbreak. There's so much death too. And it's a sad one, but I think knowing what I knew from the book had me so emotional that starting it and seeing it visually from the end to the beginning and reverse like that, I cried the entire time. Mike Flanagan did a phenomenal job. Like, it was just so good. The casting, amazing, like always. You see so many familiar faces that are always in Mike Flanagan's works, his movies, his shows. His beautiful wife, Kate Siegel, Matthew Lillard in it. There's quite a few of my favorite actors, and they just portrayed it so well. I think as a first-time watch, I really seen the magic of somebody going and seeing this film, not reading the story, not knowing what's happening or what is going to happen. And that's why I just say to pay attention to the fact that it is a story of Chuck's life, but in reverse. I feel like it's a lot more meaningful in that way. And I honestly think, again, James was kind of like burnt out on Mr. Harrigan's phone, that like he wasn't even paying attention to know that like it starts at the end type of ordeal, where I think it would have been a lot more meaningful to him. I promise it's one to stick through and see to the end, because it just gets more and more meaningful as it goes, and the tears just never stopped. It was just so beautifully done. 5 stars for Life of Chuck, the book and the movie. I am so impressed with both.
I'll be a preacher, yeah. If only for the night, I'll take you under. Girl, I could do you right. In time, we'll tell if we can connect more than physically. But for now, can you shut the door? Can we intertwine? I'm not one to give flowers, no. Everything that's eventually. Lots of feels kinda jaded, though. Heavy rules try to cut me deep. I'm small up in no pictures on your phone. Found out how the house underneath. You say I'm acting like a vampire now. Probably why I never show my teeth. I'm having trouble sleeping on you. I'm having trouble sleeping on you. I'm having trouble sleeping with you.
And now I'm gonna segue us straight into If It Bleeds, the short story that this is named after. We follow Holly Gibney, and this is a continuation, or more so a in-between story. I apologize, my cats are... It's Zoomy time, apparently. Every time I hit record, it's Zoomy time. Okay, I struggle with this one because I don't want to reread it. And I know that sounds stupid because it's a short story. I should just reread it. But my mind is like, if I'm gonna reread it, I want to wait until like I reread the entire series again. And you guys, that's not only the Bill Hodges trilogy, but it's also The Outsider. And then you go to this story, and then you read Holly afterwards. It's a whole process. You do not want to read If It Bleeds before the Bill Hodge trilogy or The Outsider. You want to read those first, so that's 4 books, then the short story, then Holly. Now that that's out of the way, I went back to my video of when I read the short story, and I was just cringing at my review of how, sure, I discussed that I liked it and that I like Holly and that, you know, I like that it's a continuation, but that was literally it. The lackluster of that review, this takes place in Pennsylvania, and it is a school situation. A middle school has a bomb threat, and that is when authorities are called in to start researching it. But it goes so much deeper than that. It brings in Holly Gibney, and without giving too much away, The Outsider is, I think, out of all of them, the most standalone, because half of the book is new faces, new characters taking on a case, and halfway through they call in Holly Gibney for help because they're dealing with this outsider, this type of being, entity that is not human. And so we see a little bit of that. So it is kind of like a cosmic horror sci-fi moment going on with If It Bleeds. Pretty much, it's another crime case for Holly Gibney to solve, and she's done this before. She's worked with this type of suspect before, that she kind of knows what she's doing, but still seeks help. But what's nice about this one is you do get some familiar faces from the Bill Hodges trilogy, like Jerome, and I believe even his sister is in this. For me, being a Holly Gibney fan and loving the books previously, I ate it up. I gave it 4 stars. I really liked the overall standalone moment of it, but also featuring a character that like I personally really like. I know she's not everybody's cup of tea. If you didn't know, Holly Gibney is a autistic character of his who is very particular and such a unique character, and I just love having that type of representation in a novel. And it just does something to my heart that she's went from being a side character to a full-on main character in If It Bleeds and even the novel Holly. It is a good one, but again, I just warn you, you're gonna be spoiled on some things if you don't read the 4 before this one. And that leaves me with Rat. It is not that long, so I plan on tackling this one today and giving you guys my review.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I had a mobile order for Allison.
You put that Allison? Yes. Gotcha, you are good to pull around. Thank you.
She's saying I'm the one you trust. What am I supposed to do when I'm on the run? I'm tired cause I'm having trouble sleeping on you. I'm having trouble sleeping on you. I'm having trouble sleeping with you.
I am back with my final update. If you're new to my channel, hi. I do read a lot of Stephen King, so if you're sticking around this week for my Stephen King reads, I thought I would show you a glimpse of my Stephen King shelf. I just recently reorganized it. Pretty proud of it. I like it. I will probably show it fully in one of the videos this week, so stay tuned for that. I actually thrifted a couple more like a weekend or 2 ago that I just haven't put away yet, so maybe I'll show those in an upcoming vlog too. But yeah, I finished If It Bleeds short story collection, and the last one, let's talk about it, Rat. This one is a short story that's really hard to talk about because I feel like you can give away so much. What you need to know is that this is about a writer. I'm actually going to see what it says on the back. A struggling writer contends with the darker side of ambition. That's literally it. There is a writer, and he has, like, his parents, I guess, had like this family cabin or lodge thing. And although he's a writer, that's not what he does professionally. It's kind of like his side hobby, but it's something like but in him, he still has that writer mindset of like wanting to accomplish a novel, and he's been writing short stories. They've kind of flopped, and we're kind of getting insight that his past one, most recent one, was so bad that it's made him spiral pretty much, and it was really hard on not just him but his family too. And when he tells his wife that he is, and his best friend, that he's ready to write a novel, he has one in his head, he's really excited about it, they're worried because they're just like, we know what happened last time. Nonetheless, he goes out to the cabin, the secluded cabin, because he wants to work out there and start writing his book and be gone for a little bit, which again worries everyone because of how he spiraled the previous time. So mix all of that with a bad storm coming in, no cell service, and also gets a really bad, like, cold flu situation, that he kind of starts to feel like he's losing his mind a little bit. There's so much more to it, and so much more to the rat aspect too. I found it to be a pretty entertaining short story. I think I am landing at 4 stars with it. It's not a perfect 5 for me. I feel like partially because Sometimes I just have a really hard time with Stephen King's characters, especially his male characters, when they are like the forefront and the majority of the story were in their head. Sometimes it can be too much for me. And I didn't care for this main character that much, although I did really like to see that like ambition side of him that was working on like this creative outlet. I did like that part of it. So all in all, I have 3 4 stars and 1 5 star. Life of Chuck is definitely my 5-star winner for this short story collection, but as a whole, I think I'm landing at a 4-star with it. And it's another Stephen King off my checklist. And since Rat does not have a movie, I will be ending out the vlog here. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope you stay tuned for my week of Stephen King reads. I'll be back tomorrow or maybe the day after. I don't know how many I have for you guys lined up, but stay tuned and I will see you in the next one.
And I probably deserve it, whatever name we call